It's time for the Sarasota and Central Florida WinSig or Windows Special Interest Group. That's the CFCS or Central Florida Computer Society and STUG, the Sarasota Technology User Group Windows Special Interest Group for February 16th, 2025. I'm Hewie Poplock. I'm the host, and we do this once a month, usually on the second Sunday of the month. This month was an exception. I'm glad you're all here, and I think I got the word out enough that hopefully none of you were looking for me last week because I wasn't there. All right, time to get started as we usually do. I am going to share my screen and make sure I turn everything on that I need to. And you should see my screen. Let me move a couple of things that I have on there out of the way so I can see everything. And I'll full screen this. And I will, instead of making it bigger, what I'm going to do is use the reader. So the first item, we go through the items, and I have added a few more this morning because I had done this about 2 weeks ago because the STUG meeting was the first Wednesday of the month, which was right at the beginning. Excuse me. And then and I wanted to make sure that I had something up by that meeting. And so I added a few more items this morning, and I usually put them in some kind of an order, and I didn't. So we may bounce around with some topics. And I put all the new ones, I think there were four of them that I did, four or five that I put on this morning, and they're right at the top. So we're going to do those first. So with that, I am going to click on the first one. And this is thanks to Drew. We'll go ahead and do this, move this over. It says it's getting ready. That's unusual. It's getting ready for the reading mode. Not had that happen before. Let's go ahead and, oh, there it is. Whoops, almost stopped it. All right. So the article is Microsoft removes Windows 11 24H2 official support. Let me grab a drink of water here. The 8th, ninth, and 10th generation Intel CPUs. Now, most of us say that we have an i3 or an i5, but we don't say what generation. In fact, in mine, I had to look up to see what generation mine was, and mine is generation 14. And I know there's some since then as well. So this doesn't include me, but this is another reason that having an older computer that for one reason or another you've been able to use Windows 11 on it, you may not be able to, or it may not do upgrades, and they won't support it anymore. But Microsoft has finally published the official support list for Windows 11 24H2, and it has added many pending AMD chips, although several ones are still missing. So they are adding as well as removing. So on the blue side, though, the tech giant has surprisingly removed several Intel SKUs or SKUs from this new list, even though they should be. Why is that jumping like that? They should be technically supported on 24H2 as they fulfill the official system requirements criteria. So as of now, Microsoft is no longer supporting these parts on new machines. I got to find a cough drop here. At least on paper. So for starters, Ice Lake U and Y and 10th generation Intel 10th generation mobile, and Comet Lake, the Intel 10 Gen desktop and mobile SKUs have been dumped. Support for 8th and 9th gen parts, Coffee Lake, have been dropped too. So we have compiled a list. So they've got a list here, and you might want to check and see if your Intel chip, if you have an Intel chip, is on the list. It keeps bouncing down to the bottom and we're going back to the top. But so there's a lot here. So it's something you might want to check if you've got an older Intel computer. So let's go ahead and I'll close this and we're back here. Well, that's the first item on here. Then Microsoft releases their February 2025 patch this past Tuesday or a couple of Tuesdays ago and updates for Windows 11. So let's go ahead and open it. So, and I have done the update for this. Microsoft has released the February 2025 patch Tuesday. So they do at least one patch a month and previews for apps on the on the taskbar. Microsoft has improved the previews and animations that show up when the mouse cursor hovers over apps on the taskbar. And I'll move down and show mine. And I don't see it doing anything different. I really don't. Uh, well, there's some things going on in there. As they change on the screen, I see them changing down there. I don't know if that's new or not, but to me, that's not a big deal. Um, Windows Studio effects on PCs with a neural processing and NPU. A new icon will now appear in the system tray. Well, the NPUs are on the Windows Copilot uh, Plus computers. No, I don't have one of those. And if you select the icon, it'll open Studio Effects page in Quick Settings. And where was I here? The screen wants to keep jumping to the top. Well, let's see if I move this over just a hair. That'll make a difference. And selecting the icon will open the Studio Effects page in Quick Settings, and hovering over the icon will show the app currently using the camera. Oh, and File Explorer improvements. When you right-click an item in the left pane, the new folder command appears in the context menu. Let's take a look at that. I hadn't noticed that. Okay. It used to be, oh yeah, it used to be up in here. You'd see new folder. Well, there is a new there. Uh, so let's go to a folder just for the heck of it. And I can hit new, but it's saying if you right mouse click here, open in a new window and open a new tab. So, well, I guess those things were added. I am not sure. And mouse performance improves. This update fixes various issues causing the mouse cursor to disappear. Mine's not, mine's not disappearing, but it's changing what the article is. See, keeps going back to the top. But that has to do, I think, with the see, I wonder if there's a setting in here. Turn that off, turn it back on. Mouse performance improvements. They said I don't have any problems. The magnifying app adds a new Control Alt minus sign and the keyboard shortcut to quickly switch between the current zoom and the 1x zoom. What is that? Control Alt minus. Control Alt minus. Well, I've got so many things loaded on here that not all of the uh, shortcuts work. And that's And I'm not using the Zoom program anyway. This is getting bothersome. So let's see how we can change that. I'm going to stop the share for right now, come back here. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to go to Edge and work with Edge. In the meantime, any comments?
I would just like
Fred,
to
go
say,
ahead. Fred, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hysteria when we hear that Microsoft is not supporting this or that. It's like if you bought a new set of tires, does that mean your car is going to stop working? So my question is exactly what is affected when Microsoft is saying it's not supporting these chips or chipsets? Um, what does the typical user have to do to continue using Windows 11, if anything? I mean, you can continue to use, I'm using old Windows 10 operating systems that are no longer supported or no longer will be supported. I'm not panicking. So the question is, what is the concern to the average user when we have this notification Microsoft's not going to support these chipsets?
What they mean is there's not going to be improvements available for you. So when they do updates, you're not going to get the update or it's not going to install on your machine. It does not mean that your machine's going to stop working or any part of it's going to stop working until it becomes they've changed something in the operating system that if you don't have the current version, it's not going to work. But in most cases, it just means you're not going to get updates. And that's mostly security updates than the operating system. It doesn't have to do with your antivirus or anti-malware program. If you're using one, it has to do with the security within Windows in the Windows software.
Yeah, I think the security is more at the operating system level and access to the internet rather than operating on a chipset. I just think there's a lot of hysteria about Microsoft withdrawing support when they say that. I just don't get it.
Yeah, you're just not going to get updates, so you're not going to get the newest things. Uh, as they make changes in the operating system, you're not going to be able to use them. And it also means that the holes in the Windows system that are being patched, when they discover them for security purposes, you're not going to be updated with those. But as far as it working, it shouldn't be a problem.
My feeling about in the future, with including Windows 10, worst comes to worst, I'm going to be putting my Windows 10 in a virtual machine and continue running it and have access to the internet through maybe a proxy server. But I just still feel there's a lot of hysteria about lack of support for this or that. I just don't. I hear what you're saying, but we used to get a change list. When something was updated, you knew exactly what was being patched. Nowadays, it's a blanket statement. It's not being supported. And we don't know exactly what is not being supported. And I think there's a panic. I know in my computer club up here in New Jersey, the concern about Office is we're losing support in Microsoft Office, this and that too. And people are using old Access code, VBA. They're starting to panic because that's what they depend upon. So I think it's really overdone. And we don't know it's not going to work until it doesn't work. And we know it nowadays when we have a patch on Patch Tuesday, something may be broken on Patch Tuesday, and that's an upgrade. So when they upgrade, we have problems, and now when they can discontinue support, we're looking for problems that right now they don't exist. They may exist, they may not exist. I just think it's overdone, my opinion.
Murray, your hand is up.
yes, I was going to say that I got 24H2, oh, I don't know, many, many weeks ago, maybe months ago on my desktop computer. And finally on my laptop, I didn't have it until until the update yesterday when now I have 24H2. Now I have to look and see if my chip's supported. Maybe it won't be supported after I get it on there. But anyway, the other thing, I do have a problem that's Windows related, and that is that after my, well, second last update, I had some shared drives from other devices and the network attached storage and so on, and they were all network mapped onto my Windows. Now, most of them I can't access. I can't even see them on my when I look at the network. Either they're not there, or the one or two that are, when I try to connect them, it says it can't find the path to the device. If I boot up that same laptop in Linux, I can see them all. So they're on the network. I don't understand why I can't see them anymore. Any ideas?
I don't. That's above my pay grade. But because I don't have network access storage and so on. But
Well, one of
so
them is just one of
and
my
most of us
drive.
don't. So
One of mine just sharing a drive from another computer. I share one of the hard drives on one of my other computers, or two of my other computers, and now I can't see them on my Windows laptop. I can see them on my Windows desktop, okay, but not on the Windows laptop, and I just don't understand what's going on. I don't know if anybody else has any ideas.
That's a common issue after a Windows upgrade. And have you tried to restore the shares?
Oh yeah, of course. And what it says, it can't connect to them, or it can't find the route to them. Although I can ping them from that Windows machine, but I can't connect to them.
I can't help you at all. Fred, your hands up again. Is that okay?
No,
Good.
that was my comment. It's a
Okay.
common Windows problem after an upgrade that you lose your shares.
Yeah.
And maybe the network troubleshooter that we were talking about earlier.
No, yeah, the network troubleshooter says it can't find anything wrong.
Hmm.
Okay, let me go ahead and I'm switching now to Microsoft Edge and see if their reading view is not doing what the one from Chrome is doing. So let's I got to share my screen. That's it. So you can see it. Share. And so you should be seeing my screen. Let me go ahead and close this one out and we'll full screen this. And by the way, Steve, I don't know if you've Steve Hall. Oh, there you are in the middle of my screen for my website.
That's my ball. That's
Yep. Okay, let's see what we get here. Microsoft releases February 2025 patch. So let's take a look at what that article has. And then I want to get into reader mode. And I got to remember how to do that in let's see. There we go, right here, I think. Open in sidebar. And let's see that. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the reader mode or not, but we'll try it. And then we'll make it bigger. Oh, this is max focus. Okay, that's okay too. But I want to try to make that bigger. Oops, I'm in the wrong one. Nope, that's not working. So that's not what I want. And remember how to get into the reader mode. It's not here, I don't think. Anyone remember how to get into reader mode in Edge? I
Yeah.
haven't done it quite a
If you
Go
click
ahead.
your puzzle piece, it should show your extensions, and one of them is going to be the reader view. If you've installed it.
Thought I did.
Hmm.
I thought it was part of Edge. Just looking to see if there's anything else here that shows me. No, I guess I'm going to have to go back to Chrome and I got so many things open here. So let's go ahead and just create a new one here.
Huey, I have a little icon. I must have downloaded it. from the three dots. It says reader view in Edge.
Okay. Well,
So,
let's try that.
yeah. But I must have pulled it from the three dots because it's part of my toolbar.
Yeah, I don't see it here either.
I'm trying to,
No, I got to
check
use
and
Edge more
see.
so I know. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're here. Let's go to Hewie.net.
Couldn't you just ask Perplexity or Copilot where it
Yeah,
is?
I could, but I don't want to take the time. I want to get right on with it here. So we'll go to WinSig, and this is the next article, and I want to go into reader mode and slide it over. So if you look here, it says Microsoft is released today. So it tells you what it is, and it tells you all of the things. In fact, we looked at this, right? So that tells us what updated. Now, what I want to show you is, let's go ahead and minimize this. And I am going to go to settings, and I am going to go to Windows Update, and then update history, because I've already done it. So here is a cumulative update for Windows 11 version 2020 24H2, and it's 1987 installed on the 12th. So if you look over here, it says learn more. If you click that, it tells you all of the information. It tells you what improvements were made, tells you known issues in the update, and then how to get the update. And that's pretty much it. And in some of these, this can be improvements. It can be a lot of information there to tell you what's in that particular update. And so if, let's see, Windows Update, Business, and Catalog, I'm not sure what all these things are, and Server Update Services. So it tells you some information about it.
Could I ask
And
a quick question? If
sure, go ahead.
there's something in there that you know messed up your system, can you uninstall it and get rid of that knowledge base one? I had one that was like that and I couldn't get rid of the damn thing.
Okay, let's go back to, let's see here. No, I want to go to here. What you can do is there is a way to do it. And I don't remember, there is a way to tell it to uninstall that particular update. Uninstall updates.
Okay, let's see if it works.
And there's the one that's from January. That's December. There's February's. That's a security update. And you want to make sure that the knowledge base number is the same. You click on install. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'll let you practice on your machine.
Yeah, I tried it and it kept coming back anyway. It wouldn't uninstall the thing.
Okay. You also want to make sure that you have your control point, and I can never remember what it's called, so I just type in point and create a restore point. You want to go back to your restore point, which is right here. And what you want to do is you don't need to create, you want to do a system restore. And that's what the one you want?
But you got to make sure you've done your creations because otherwise they won't be there.
Yeah, you want to make sure there's one there so you can go and look at it and create a restore point. So you can
And you
see
want to
that.
spend an hour or so restoring it if you have to as well. It's actually faster to restore a Macrium backup this morning than it is to try and restore a restore point.
It depends. but yes, it can take quite a while because it's got to put everything back in place.
And it doesn't always work, whereas a Macrium backup does.
Yep. Or uh, a true image backup or whatever you use to do your
Yeah.
backups with. Okay, so let's see. Close this. So that's the second article. The third one, 5 built-in tools to use when troubleshooting Windows problems. Now, this may be above most of you, so don't worry about it. Just know that it's there, that some of these tools are there, and kind of listen and just be aware of it. You'll probably never use it, and you probably shouldn't. If so, let's see. We got a bunch of ads that came up, and we're going to try the reader here. And so, event viewer. The event viewer is where all logs come together. Since we're talking about troubleshooting the Windows problems, not mentioning event viewer would be a sin. The tool logs everything that happens in Windows, normally logs from different processes that are scattered across the disk, various files, some in plain text and others in unreadable binaries. Still, Event Viewer brings them all together in one place. Events are categorized by severity, starting with the audit, failures and successes, and so on. So let's see. So you can use the event viewer to find out what's causing your PC problems, and here's how. So there's a link there to open up an article that tells you how. But what do we mean by the event viewer? I'm going to right mouse click my start button, and I'm going to look for event viewer and see if it's here, and there it is. So let's take a look at it. Sorry, I can't make it bigger. I can make the screen a little bit. I can just add more things to it here. Let me move it over a little bit so my camera isn't in the way. But you can see that I'm not going to go in how to use it because I don't know. I don't use it. It's probably something I should be using more often. And some of you may never use it, but you got Windows logs, you got application and services logs, and some subscriptions. So I'm going to gave me a warning there. Before I click on yes and no, I better read it. To work with subscriptions, a window event collector service must be running and configured. Do you want to start it? No. Okay. So we'll come back up here to custom views, and you can see that there's some things here in the Windows log. So, and then actions and view. And so there's some things there that you might want to take a look at. Those of you who are just having some problems.
There's a few utilities that make it easier to use than that too,
Yeah.
like who crashed.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is built into Windows. So that's what they're talking about. These things are within Windows, but for more advanced people. Task Manager is one that I use quite often, and but it does a lot. It shows important stats like CPU, memory, disk, and network usage, which can help when your system. See, it keeps jumping on me here. Come on. We're down here at Task Manager. So you can do several things. Now, there are several ways you can get into Task Manager. One, again, right mouse clicking on your start button and it's here, or if you just go into an empty spot in your taskbar, click on Task Manager.
Windows X will get you there too.
Yes. Again, that's if you're not unlike me, I have so many things that have shortcuts that one shortcut overrides another one. So anyway, getting back. So this shows right now I'm using 60% of my memory and 20% of the CPU. And it tells me by item what's using all of these things. So Evernote's using quite a bit. Do I have Evernote on? No, I don't have it open. So, and then you can change this alphabetically so you can find things easier. Or you can say, okay, what's using the most memory? So you can click on that and it'll put the one that's using the most on top, which of course is Chrome. And then same with memory, what's using the most memory, Chrome is as well. So that's only one of the things. Then you got processes, performance, but startup apps was the one we were talking about earlier. This shows me everything that is in my startup, but some of them I've disabled, and you can take any one of them. And let's say something here we don't want. I do want ClipMate, but if I didn't want it, I would just I just click that and let's see. If I right mouse click, I can disable it. I can open the file location, search online and properties, but we're just going to leave it alone. But if I disabled it, what it's going to do is going to change into this. And so when I do my startup, that particular item isn't going to be included in the startup. So you can shut off many of these and see if your problem goes away. If it is, it was one of those programs causing the issue. And then you might have to start by adding one or two and see if the problem then resumes. If it does, you know it's one of those that you just re-added. So you want to have a little written checklist, and as you add some things, check to see, and then keep adding more and more until you finally hit the combination that's causing the issue, and you'll probably figure out which one's causing it. So who was it? Stephen that was having a problem. This might help you with that. Okay, let's close that. And so that's Event Viewer, Task Manager, Resource Monitor. While Task Manager gives you graphs and details, and it doesn't, we didn't even look at the graphs and so on. I am going to just go back here, come back. I hate to do this, but no, I'll do, I think it's under here.
Huey,
Yes.
if you want to get into reader mode in Microsoft Edge, press F9.
Okay, let's try that, see if that works. And go to,
Yeah. I just tried that on mine and it didn't work.
Mhm.
Worked on mine.
okay, well, let's go to WinSig. We're in this. And then F9.
Yes.
Oh,
And there we
wow.
go. Okay, so now we can change the size. Read aloud, text preferences, and there we go. Thank you.
So you'll have to put a sticker on your F9 key and rename it to
Yep.
read mode.
So anyway, let's see, that was the event viewer
Hmm.
and task manager, and now we're at resource manager. See how apps and processes interact with the hardware. And so again, this one is resource monitor. Again, right mouse click your start button. This is in Windows 11. I'm not sure if you can do that in Windows 10 or not, but you should be able to find it either way. But let's see, resource.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Windows X.
Yeah, but I don't have that on here either, do I?
Yeah, if you hold the Windows key down and press X, you'll get that same menu you got looking at there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but what I'm looking for is the resource monitor, and I don't see it listed. We'll come down here and put RE resource. Resource monitor. And there it is. And again, I don't use it. I can't tell you what it's showing you, but it's showing you some things that if you know what you're looking at, or if you want to do some research to figure out what all this means and what it's showing you, you can do it. So that's just one of those advanced things. When you're having an advanced problem, you can't figure it out. This might help you. And the command prompt. I use it more than I would have thought I would in this stage, and that's because I remember some of the commands from the back in the days when that's all we had, long before Windows. And to get to the command prompt, there's several ways you can do it, and this was the one that we talked about earlier. To fix problems and so on.
System file checker, yeah.
The to check and repair corrupted system files or check disk and so on. So to get to the command prompt,
Type CMD.
yep, or COMMAND if you don't remember that, and it's there. And that, if you remember how to do a directory, and there's your directory. Uh, and so on. So you can use the command prompt with things that you remember from the DOS days, or you can go back and look at some of your books that are sitting on the shelf you haven't opened in a long time, and how to use the command prompt. You may have some older books that will tell you what to do and how you can change directories. You can look at files and so on. But sometimes you can use that and then you can do the SFC slash space slash scan now to check for repairs. I don't want to do it because I'm sure how long it'll
Yeah,
take.
there's no space after the slash.
Okay, there is no, okay.
No.
Mike put it in there with it. Okay, but let's go back to command. CMD. Whoops. And I've got a space in there. Okay, you got to do it as an administrator. So
Administrator,
you
yeah.
have to get to the command prompt by telling it you want as an administrator. So, but that'll tell you some things. And then PowerShell, which I don't use, but my friend Steve, who was just talking, you use it extensively, correct, Steve?
A fair bit, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a step up from command prompt, and it's sort of similar to command prompt in that it uses command line interface, but it's actually a lot more capable. So if you know anything about the PowerShell or want to learn about it, this would be a good time to be thinking about it. Write it down in your notes that you want to learn more about that. And then fix Windows issues easily. The built-in tools make it easy to troubleshoot Windows problems. If you're looking for more details, check out 6 Task Manager columns that can help you troubleshoot issues. So if you click on that, it'll take you to a different article. And then you can also troubleshooting using PowerShell, and then click on that's a link, or command prompt, and that's a link. I click on that. What's it show us? 8 Windows system diagnostic commands you should memorize. There's
Yeah,
ping.
in order to get to the command screen that's a level up, you can go to your start menu and look under accessories, and you should see the command prompt one in there. If you right click on it and select run as administrator, you'll then be able to run that system
Okay,
file
so it's
checker.
not accessibility. You want Windows, correct? Windows tools,
Yeah, command prompt.
command prompt.
Yeah, if you
And in
right
this,
click on that,
you're going to right click
there you
and
go.
then run it
And
as
then run as
administrator.
administrator. Yeah.
Yeah. Then if we do it, you will
You
see
just
this.
type SFC space.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, so it's going to take some time. Let's see, how do I stop it now?
Control C.
Nope, that's a
No,
copy.
okay.
You can click the X.
Yeah.
Yep, just close it. Okay. Anyway, that's how you get to the administrator part of it. Okay, so let's see. Back to here. And the next article, again, is advanced items. And I don't even have the sysinternals installed, but so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. People like Steve would probably use these. I don't recommend unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've
But
replaced most of the built-in Windows stuff with those. The sysinternals work a lot better.
yeah.
That's why Microsoft bought sysinternals.
Okay, let's see the collection of.
Looks like
Keep
something's
reading.
blocking the article.
Yep, I got it. Just said keep reading. And so you got Process Explorer, you got Process Monitor, Auto Runs.exe, TCP View, and SDelete, securely delete files and free up space. Zoom It, which is now part of the Power Toys. They have moved that up. And so I think it may be in both, but you can zoom in and you can also write on the screen.
Yeah,
And
I'll
then RAM map.
demonstrate writing on the screen when I get to the next half of the meeting.
Okay, good. And pen moves is another, and BG info, which displays system information on your desktop. So these are things that are sysinternals files. And I got to move this down so I can close out some windows because I can't see them when I'm full screen because my Zoom menu is right over it. So anyway, so it's just 9 sysinternals, and then the Microsoft 365 is losing its free VPN. And what was it? F9? Yep, there we go. So Microsoft is getting ready to remove the VPN feature from its Microsoft 365 subscription later this month. Originally designed as a privacy feature, the VPN of Microsoft 365 utilizes the Microsoft Defender app to encrypt internet traffic and hide IP addresses. Microsoft is now removing this privacy protection feature from Windows or from Microsoft 365 on February 28th. And so on. So if you want a VPN, you can't use one built into Microsoft 365. You have to use a different one. So that's that article. And now Microsoft tests new Power Toys again. We're talking about some advanced stuff here today. And so hopefully we'll get in some other things. But Microsoft, so the Power Toys, there are several really good Power Toys. And they are good and relatively easy to use. You just have to, again, there are different pieces of software programs, so you may have to learn how to use them, but they're not difficult, and you can install them for free. So Microsoft tests a new Power Toys app that can pull audio from video files. So you can do that. So let's go ahead and stop the share and see if there's any comments, questions, something that sparked your, gee, I want to ask about that in one of what we just talked about. Anything. I know those were a little bit more advanced than we normally do, but we got some advanced people here too. And then it's always good to know something that's above what you would normally learn about. I can remember sitting in at user group meetings and they were talking about some networking stuff and I had no clue what they were talking about. And then 6 months later, I was involved in something that I had to learn about it. Oh, I remember when they talked about that and I didn't know what it was. So, so some of those things, it's good to at least hear them once and be a part of this meeting. And then the rest of you can pick it up when you need to, or if you don't, you got exposed to it. Any comments, questions? Okay, let's go back then. Okay, so we're going to come back here. And Microsoft tests new Power Toys. No, we already talked about that. 6 surprisingly helpful uses for the USB port on your router. I thought this was interesting because I never have played with my router. And there is a USB port in the back of it over here. And I just never played with it or didn't know what to do with it. Didn't know I could. So let's go ahead and hit F9 and say the USB port on your router is often unused, and yet it offers practical functions that can make everyday life easier. So what can the USB port do? Well, there's several things. Printer sharing, connect a USB printer to the router to make it available as a network printer for all devices on the network. This saves you having to change cables or drivers and back and forth. A lot of you are using Wi-Fi, so this uh, uh, doesn't really fit in for you. But there are some times where, you just can't make that work. That printer just doesn't work well. Well, maybe make it a network printer by plugging it in directly into your router. A network attached storage or NAS. Connect an external hard drive or USB stick to store files centrally. You can make documents, photos, and videos accessible to all devices in the home network, and with some models, even stream content such as films and music directly. So that might be another way in which you can do that, is just take an external drive, plug it directly into your router.
Or USB hub into it with drives
That's
connected to
correct.
it.
Yeah. Has anyone here put it directly into their router?
I do. I have a flash drive that I installed in my USB port, and I have music files on there that I can play from any one of my computers.
Anything that's on the network, correct?
Yeah,
So you could play it on your phone, even though it's not locally on your phone. It would be on that thumb drive, correct?
correct.
Yeah. Okay, backups. Many routers support automatic backups. Files from the networks are automatically backed up to a connected USB storage device. So it'd be another thing you could use that for. Power supply for IoT devices. Some USB ports are suitable for powering small devices. You might have to check and see if this works, but maybe a smart LED lamp or charger, you might be able to plug into your router and have an extra connection to power and charge your device. Mobile internet, if your router supports LTE dongles, you can easily switch to a mobile data connection in the event of an internet. In an internet outage, if it's a power outage, that's not going to help you. This is particularly useful if you need a stable connection and your landline connection fails. And then charge devices. And I already mentioned that. So you can plug your smartphone into it or tablet and have it charged directly from your router. And then it tells you a little bit about what you connect, how to use it. So it's a good article to have for your collection and maybe play around with. So we'll go ahead and look at the next item. Copilot is now free. And again, F9. I like that. Okay, Microsoft's Copilot goes free and new AI tools launched. So Microsoft makes Copilot Think Deeper mode free and unveils new AI tools. In a significant move to enhance user accessibility and innovation, Microsoft has announced that its Copilot Think Deeper mode will now be available for free to all users. And let's see, what is it? Copilot is Microsoft's AI-powered assistant designed to help users with various tasks from writing and coding to data analysis. The Think Deeper mode specifically allows users to engage in more complex problem solving and brainstorming sessions, providing deeper insights and suggestions. By making this feature free, Microsoft aims to democratize, easy for you to say, access to advanced AI capabilities, enabling more individuals and organizations to leverage AI for their needs. And the article goes on to some other things about it. And then in summary, Microsoft's decision to make Copilot's Think Deeper mode free, along with the launch of new AI tools like DeepSeek R1, marks a pivotal movement in the accessibility of AI technology. DeepSeek R1 is the Chinese AI that caused a lot of storm a couple of weeks ago. This initiative not only broadens the reach of Microsoft's AI capabilities, but also sets the stage for future advancements in the field. Now, I read an article, and I'm not sure if I might have part of that article coming up, but I also have like Copilot is on my taskbar. If I click it and bring it up, you'll see Think Deeper. So you can click it, you can write what you want and then click Think Deeper, and it takes longer for the answer to come across, but still not very long, but it will go deeper and find more information to give you a better answer. And that's now free to all users. Now, let's see, there was something else I was going to mention. Oh, I know what it was. There's also Microsoft, and it's in typical Microsoft, has come out with a second Copilot program. So you're going to have two loaded. So I have put the other one, it's really not available yet, but I was able to get it on my taskbar, and it is Copilot 365, which is different than Copilot. If I click it, welcome to Microsoft 365 Copilot. And so I can search for apps, templates, and more within Microsoft Start, and I can use Copilot within the Microsoft world of presentation documents. So if I click on documents, let's see what happens. It's opening in my other. Let me bring it over. Oh, nuts. Okay, there it is. And right here is draft with Copilot. So I can do something right in my Word document using Copilot. So Copilot is going to be very much in the Microsoft realm, but there's two ways to get to it, and apparently they're going to do different things. And as this comes out more, we'll be able to get some articles up and why you would use one as opposed to the other. And let's take a break here. And what am I doing for time? Good. It's 2:22. Any comments, questions?
Earlier, you were doing 365 and Copilot. It was removing it. Now you just showed it that it's in there. So are they removing it or making it better? The article said you were removing it.
Yeah. It's doing one or the other. Bill James, you have your hand up.
Yeah, Huey, thank you. My question is about Copilot. I just started using it more recently than I have with Chat GPT, but one of the things that I find in Chat GPT, it maintains a history, but Copilot does not, or at least I have not been able to find where I can go back to some of my previous prompts or my previous responses.
Here, let me share my screen again. Stephanie, I see your hand is up, but let me do this first. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to open up Copilot. See this right here?
Yes, sir.
If you click the Copilot, let's see, that gives you some answers. If you hit the plus, new upload or screenshot, I thought that it brought up my history, but it doesn't look that way. So let's see, let me bring it up again. Copilot. I was almost sure that's what I did. It might have been one of the other programs where it had my history.
I thought it might be under account, but it's not. Your account would be where your
Is
your
it under
image.
is it under the three dots?
And a subscription, give about, download. Maybe you need to run the app.
The three dots at the top, Huey, right there.
Right here.
Is that it? No.
Yeah, no. Quick view, pin to start settings.
See if it's in the quick view. Maybe that's what you've got there.
If you ask Copilot, can I get a history of Copilot entries? It responds, are you looking for a history of our past conversations or a general history of Copilot's capabilities and updates? I cannot provide an entire chat history, but I can share a general overview of what Copilot can do and how it has evolved.
Yep.
It doesn't maintain any history. At
Yeah.
least I wasn't able to find it, which is a shame because in GPT you can go back. I mean, it keeps a running history of all your prompts and all your responses.
Yeah, and so do several of the other ones because it's really helped me remember what I had asked before and didn't save, and it's really saved me a couple of times having to go through the whole thing again.
Yeah, and
Well, I really like Chat.
in perplexity, you can re-edit some of the history
Yeah.
prompts as well.
I
Okay,
really like
Stephanie, you have your hand up.
Yes, I found that it automatically went into my system since I have 365 and I go over to get a blank page and I get that thing that puts it into Copilot. And I didn't know how to do Copilot. I just wanted to draft something. So I managed to, get it out of the system so I can get blank pages, but I was rather annoyed by it.
Yeah, if you don't click that little button, you can just type and do whatever you're going to do for instance, in Word instead of using Copilot. But if you hit the little button there, uh, it will then uh, do it with Copilot and give you some answers.
Yeah, well, I like to choose what I'm doing and, so it's working now. I mean, I'm not using it particularly, but I do have a way of doing it. Yeah. Thank you.
But as you're saying, more and more AI is becoming a part of everything that we do. And uh, when you call tech support now for most companies, you're talking to AI. You're not talking to a human being, even though you're conversing with what you think is a person. It isn't. It's AI. Bill, I think you had some more to say about what we were talking about, and I went straight to Stephanie. Did you have something more you wanted to add or question?
Yeah, the other thing I was going to add is that I really have enjoyed using Copilot. I've had to create a couple slides in a couple of my presentations when I've left something out, and it's really done a great job. So I really like the responses, but I just wish I could save them.
Uh, what I've been doing is I open up a Word document, copy the response and drop them in a Word document, and then put the Word document in a folder where I keep all of that.
That's
So
what I do.
what
That's what I do as well. Yeah, I put them in that,
yeah.
and I've sometimes put them into an email to myself.
Yeah, and
You
I
can also bookmark them.
yeah.
When it comes up with
I
one you want to save, just bookmark it.
I'm not sure whether you can.
Yeah, you can. That's
Okay.
what I've been doing.
Okay. The other thing is that I use so many of these. I use Perplexity. I use Claude. I use a Meta. I use I'm just trying to think of the ones. I've gotten I'm using Grok sometimes through X, and so I don't not only remembering what I asked it and what the answer was, but where I got it from. So a lot of times I'll save it as a Word document, and I will mark where I got the answer from, so I can keep track of that. But I'm using so many of those, and I'm by the way, I am putting together a comparison of 9 of those types: Perplexity, Claude, uh,
Gemini.
Gemini, and so on. I'm putting together an article on comparing them and what one does that another one doesn't, and so on. And every day it changes.
Hmm.
So I have not gotten far. I've got the data collected, but I have to keep going back and is that old data or new data? Anyway, I am trying to put that together, and it's not going to be for Tech for Senior because it's probably going to end up being a full presentation, but I'll be able to use it for user groups and hopefully maybe even an APCUG Wednesday or Saturday presentation. But I'm close to it. I've got a lot of information collected. I've got some charts that compare them with check marks and so on. I just haven't gotten to the point of putting it all together and making a presentation, but that I'm getting closer in my spare time. Any other comments, questions before we go back? How are we doing in time?
After you finish it, you can pop it into Copilot or one of those and tell it to summarize it.
Oh no, I've been using Notebook LM, and that does a great job of taking all of the information I have. I drop all that information in Notebook LM and then tell it to put something together using all of that data. But I've had to go in and use, and I can't remember which one I used to do it, but I did have it take some of the information and create the chart for me, and it created a nice chart. So I'm starting to use AI more and more to put information together instead of just making a picture or writing an article. It's gathering data that would be very difficult to compare and having it do it for me. Okay, let's go back to sharing. And come back here. Okay, Copilot is now free. An intro to Instagram for seniors. I'm not going to go into that, but it's something I really need to look at. I don't use Instagram, and a couple of times I've had to look at it. I have no idea of how to do anything with it. And so why should I care about Instagram? Keep up with the grandkids because they're using it. Share your own adventures. Find inspiration. Join communities, entertainment, and pretend you're hip and cool. So, what can I do on the thing? Posts. You can share photos and videos that appear in your profile and in your followers' feeds. Stories. You can post short-lived photos and videos that disappear after 24 hours. Great for sharing daily snippets. Reels, create and watch short, entertaining videos, often set to music. Direct messages or DMs. Send private messages, photos, and videos to friends, and explore. Discover new content and discover and accounts based on your interests. And then it tells you how to get started with it. There's a video you can play, and it gives you some things to do to get started with it, and some lingo for seniors about Instagram. So I thought this was a good article to pass on to you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Again, I don't use Instagram, but I'd like to. Comment?
Let me do something here. I can.
Would somebody mute themselves,
Okay.
please?
I got
Somebody's
that on mute.
talking.
There we go.
I'm gonna mute all. There we go. I just muted everybody because I couldn't figure it. There were several people who weren't muted. All right. So anyway, Instagram, if you want to use it or learn, have an understanding of what your kids or grandkids are using, this would be a great article to have. Make sure you bookmark it, open it, and then bookmark it. And it's an intro for Instagram for seniors. And let's see, the world's #1 noise canceling app and an AI meeting assistant. And it's called Crisp. You see this? Can you see this little black menu over here on my right? Do you see it? Not sure whether you can or not.
Yes, yes, we can see it.
That's Crisp, and it's your AI powered assistant for meetings and calls. So Crisp is a desktop app that maximizes productivity of online meetings with its AI powered noise cancellation, transcriptions, meeting notes, and recording. It does some recording and transcriptions. I don't use it for that. I use it just for the noise cancellation. And it's excellent. I can have a lawnmower right outside my window, which is right next to me here where my computer is, and you don't hear it. Or somebody comes into the room and talks to me, and I'm not sure who that is because I live alone, but I'd worry about it. Anyway, if somebody walked in and started talking to me, uh, you would not hear it because it's not my voice. It's just noise in the background, and it would cancel it out. So it's a really good, and I forgot what I pay for it. It's not very much. And I think it was a one-time thing, and maybe it's a yearly thing. I don't know. We'll have to look at it here, but you can use it for individuals and freelancers, sales and success, hybrid work, call centers, and so on. So it can be used for several things. Distraction-free calls, a complete capture of discussions, and quick review of the points and summary. And let's see if it does tell us how much it costs. You can use it for free, but I went ahead and let's see if we got pricing here on it. To clip. Well, let's go to the website and pricing. You can use it for free, 60 minutes a day for noise cancellation. So for an hour program, but the pro version is $8 a month, or 16 a month if you want to pay it by the month. I've been a paid subscriber for a while because I use it all the time. But you can get Crisp for free to try it and play with it and see if it helps you and see if you want to use it. And it's got some all kinds of things, even in the free version. So I highly recommend it. I use it myself and I pay for it. This is not a paid advertisement. Explore the benefits of Microsoft 365. Okay, a lot of people ask, why should I get Microsoft 365? Let's see the plans and pricing here. The basic is $20 a year. The personal is $100 a year. And then the family is now $129. Used to be 79 and 99 or 69 and 99. Now it's 99 and 120. It's gone up 30 bucks. But this is for one, and the upgrade for 6 people. So and you can give it to family members, your kids, your grandkids, your next door neighbor, your best friend, whoever. If you get that, you can share it. So up to 6 people. So if you get 6 people to go in on it at $130, it's less than $25 a year a piece. And what do you get for that? Well, you get it's for PC, Macs, phones, and tablets. It's up to 6 terabytes of secure cloud stage. So each person gets a terabyte of storage on Microsoft's OneDrive. You get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and OneNote desktop apps with Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Defender, Identity, OneDrive, ransomware protection, and so on. So for about $25 a year, if you go in with 6 friends or 5 friends, the 6 of you, you each get access to it with a different number. So you're not getting into each person's, you're not sharing an account, you're sharing the cost of it. Or if you just want it for yourself, you can do it this way and you get the 1 terabyte and you get all of the desktop apps as well. And you get Clipchamp video editor, you get on both, and ongoing support when you need it. So if you have a problem with it, if you can get a hold of somebody that's not an AI or not out of the country, you can get support as well. So that's that part of it, but let's go
Brad
back
has
now.
a question, Ewing.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Huey, I just have a question. Do you use Crisp on top of Zoom? Because the default with noise cancellation, it's enabled on Zoom. And to make an added comment, my wife is a musician and she does some music teaching. You do not want noise cancellation if you're using Zoom for music. There is an option to turn on what is called original sound. So my question to you is, do you use Crisp on top of Zoom?
Yes, I do. And in my, let's see if I can find where the set, you can turn off noise cancellation within it as well. But let's see if I can find where the settings are here. Uh, no, I just, I'm not going to spend time to try to find it. But one of the things that I like about it is the fact that, yes, I do put it on top of Zoom, but when I tell it what microphone to use, for instance, I'm telling it to use the crisp microphone, and it's my Yeti microphone, and within crisp tell crisp to use that microphone.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I understand now.
He just doesn't sing serenades while on Zoom calls.
That's for sure.
LOL.
Okay, so this is now with Microsoft 365. You get Copilot. Well, you get Copilot now. This is changed because you get Copilot anyway. You get Designer, Microsoft Defender, and there's some subscription benefits. The cloud storage is really good because you get the 1 terabyte per person. Share your subscription with up to 5 people. Advanced security and help when you need it. What do they tell you about help? Get ongoing technical support by chat or on the phone for Windows 10 and 11 and all apps included in your Windows 365 subscription. So that in itself might be worth the cost. But I don't know. Anyone use the on the phone help for Windows 10 and 11? Might be interesting if
I've
if
had
you
a
have.
hard time finding the telephones to use. I've
Yeah,
used it
that's
in the past, but it was quite a while ago. Chat is easier to get through. Yeah.
Yep. Good, thank you. Let's see, let's go to the next item. How to use Microsoft Edge PDF reader. Okay, and how to use the Microsoft Edge built-in PDF editor. Let's look at the reader first. I probably should have found a PDF to use, but how to use it, how to open a PDF in Microsoft Edge, because Microsoft Edge is your set is set as your default PDF reader if you have Windows 11. But if you've changed it by installing something, I'm using a different PDF reader and editor. So when I click on a PDF, it opens that program. So once PDF is open, you can use the toolbar and so on. So you can use the PDF within Edge, and how to summarize a PDF pages in Edge. Tells you how to do that. And then how to save a PDF in Microsoft Edge and save time by using the PDF reader. But now the last article on here, how to use the built-in editor, and that's editing a PDF. This is where Microsoft Edge edges out the competition. You can not only use, wait a minute, let's go ahead and hit F9 here. This is where Microsoft Edge edges out the competition. So how to open a PDF file in Microsoft Edge. You open with and tell it to open it with Edge. So instead of clicking on an item, right mouse click, let's say it's a PDF and you want to, from your folder, instead of opening it, let's see if we can file and go to downloads. See if I got a PDF here. Here we go, European AI guidelines. If I right mouse click on that, I can open with. There's Microsoft Edge. Foxit is a PDF editor that I use, or you can open it with elements if it's a picture and so on. I'm going to go ahead and say Microsoft Edge. And here is that document in Edge. And if I click on page 69, it takes me to page 69. I want to copy something here. It's copied it. And if I want to paste that into a blank and then paste it, Control V, and there it is. So you can copy and paste very easily and do some editing. You can remove pages, that sort of thing within Edge. So we've covered them all. Timed right at 2:45. So we hit right on the button. This has been the CFCS and STUG Windows Special Interest Group for February 16th, 2025. I'm Hewie Poplock.